All right. I don't know the topic of this. Do you believe in evolution? Since we talk about video, obviously, because we do video. Um, have you heard about the recent video, the Bigfoot one?
No, what?
Yeah.
I
You
haven't.
haven't seen the new footage?
I haven't seen that.
Okay. Well, I'll put it on screen for everyone to see.
All
But
right.
like, it's they're saying it's real.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first time they've caught whatever in like HD,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Pretty convincing,
yeah.
dude. That's interesting because it's like the only like real footage that's like been like scientists can debunk is what is that called? It's like the one that they always refer to. It's like from the 70s and I forget what it's called, but like
Mm-mm.
man, it would kill me right now that I can't remember the name of this incident because it's like the main one that's always brought up. But
Uh-huh.
like yeah, I don't know, but it's like there's a piece of footage and it's like they're in like a riverbed and Bigfoot's walking across and it's like they've tried to replicate it. People have like virtually recreated the scene and everything and they're like
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that a human could like walk like that or take those strides and like that way. So it's like the only piece of footage that hasn't been like debunked and has really been like dove into on the science side of it.
Okay. I don't know how much this has been dove like dove into just yet.
Yeah.
Me and DJ, shout out, go DJ. Um, but I was putting his sound panels up in his office, and it popped up on his phone. He was like, "Man, you have to check this out. This is like the first time it's ever like. Do you think this is real?"
Yeah.
And it's a guy like walking in the forest, like quietly, obviously,
Yeah.
and he looks over, and he it's his POV, obviously, so he sees this thing like sitting there, and he zooms in on it. He's like, no way. And um at first the thing is just sitting there, and then finally it like realizes it's being watched,
Yeah.
and it looks over at him, and it doesn't like start to chase him or like any of the things that you would think like, okay, if this is fake, it's gonna stand up and like go maul this guy.
Right.
um so he just sits there and records it, and it turns towards him, and I'm like, holy crap, like if this is like Hollywood like faking us out,
Yeah.
they're doing a pretty good job.
Right.
Because I when I first saw it, I was like, oh dude, that's just like not an ape, but like, is that what they're called, like the technical term?
For Bigfoot?
No, for like monkeys, for
Oh,
like the big like burly like monkeys,
um, I mean, like
gorillas.
gorilla, yeah. I
Okay.
guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so like I was like, oh dude, no, that's a gorilla, like,
Yeah.
no. And when he turned his face and like showed its face, it was like a mix between a person and a gorilla.
Well, that's crazy because like, some people say that like Bigfoot is like it's a like unknown ape and it originates from Gigantopithecus. And basically Gigantopithecus,
Okay.
I'm gonna have to fact check a lot of this stuff, but like I'm pretty sure that that actually was a real being, and they have like fossils of it, but it's like extinct now. But it's like
Mm,
some kind of like extended part from like that.
yeah.
So
Well, not to get into the weeds, but do you believe in evolution?
evolution, yeah, I do. I mean, I think that stuff does evolve whenever it's like under certain circumstances. It does evolve to like keep living, surviving, pass on
Yeah.
like genetics. So,
Well, if that's the case, then there's no reason that it couldn't be real.
yeah.
I'll have to show you the video though. All right. What's a
Is
recent
it?
project you've been working on?
We had the big project. Well, can we reveal that yet? The last big project I've been working on?
OMNIPLAY?
Yeah. I mean, can we reveal that or?
I mean, depends when we release the video, I guess.
I guess so. I guess that is true.
I mean, they're
Well,
already talking about it in sales calls, I think.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like it's like fully displayed or anything like that.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'd say the last big project was the OmniPlay animation, and so that one was like really fun to do because there was a lot of parts to it. So when
Mhm.
that one finally gets released, like I'm super excited to like show that one. Like there's a full-on recreation of Eric Isham, CEO of OmniCommander, recreated as an AI robot in the animation. So that was one aspect of it. Created an entire virtual branch. Have included some other people from OmniCommander, either as voiceovers or in the video. It was a lot of animating, a lot of rigging, a lot of modeling. It was a lot of everything. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with how it came out.
I mean, you should be. It looks. I mean, everyone that's seen it so far has had the reaction that I was picturing in my head.
Right.
You
No,
know,
I'm glad
And
it
that's-
came out that way.
Yeah, I think it's cool, and just to like go back to the beginning of that, like when we first started looking into OmniPlay, which for those of you that don't know, OmniPlay is um, OmniCommander's proprietary software for displaying media onto monitors. So whether that's in your branch or in the lobbies, in teller lines, all the good things. Anywhere that you want to display media, whether that's images or video, we have the software to push that to your displays. So we got this new product that we wanted to push, and we were like, well, we need a crazy video for it, because this is going to change the game for OmniCommander, because it's our software.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to be able to say that for the first time is really cool. So so we needed a crazy idea, and the first thing that came to my mind was the digital branch that you created for Cyber Commander.
Right.
And I was like, why don't we just do something with that? Like, we'll just load it with displays, and like we'll make this crazy animation. And we discussed that a little bit prior to the OC content meetings that we have. And so I took the idea into there, and they seemed to ride with it, and we kind of had a conversation between us two, and we're like, this is, and that is something that's very cool to me, is that for this project, it was like our thing,
Right.
which you did all the work. I'm not going to take any credit.
No, you helped out with it.
I
though,
helped
so
out
it's
with
always
like
a
the
team
audio
effort.
side of it. I
Yeah.
feel like the scripting and stuff like that, and like the story, like the message that needed to be told. I feel like I got to like have fun with that.
Yeah.
But bringing it to life is a whole nother story. So like you crushed that side of it, but
Appreciate it.
but yeah, like going into it was just like we got to talk about it. We had the idea.
Right.
We got to flesh out what the scripting would be like, and the look and feel and all that stuff, and we really just ran with it until it was finally ready for review. And then by the time it was ready for review, everyone was like, this is freaking awesome.
Right. Well, it's like it just like kept adding elements to it, and it's like every
Yeah.
time we had something added, it just made it that much better.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, it's like sometimes I get caught up in making it look good, and
Mhm.
so it's like sometimes like I lose track of like the message behind it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I will say that it definitely helped, like you keeping it on target as far as like what we're trying to accomplish, getting the like
Yeah.
message out.
And I think that's like, that is something that comes with having an outside perspective, and that's why being a part of a team like the team that we have is like so nice, because we make stuff all the time, and it's like I'll send it off for a design review and be like, oh, this is like home run, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm sending out what I think would be great.
Right.
And sometimes that's not always in the best interest of the client. Sometimes that is because it looks good.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get those home runs like the OMNIPLAY or
Right.
recently I worked on a project for loyalty that I was like struggling really hard with. I think it was a personal loan ad, and I was like wanting so badly for there to be an intro to the commercial. And I was like, but I want it to be like really different.
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with the idea of having someone listening to music in their headphones
Yeah.
and like kind of like having a good time. And then a fake Spotify commercial that I made
Right.
that says like, we'll be right back with your hit list
Right.
after this brief message from loyalty. And I thought, I like when I did that, I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. If this goes well, like they'll hopefully I get to put this out, because I was like super excited about it.
I know. Whenever you drop that in like the group chat, like internal review kind of thing,
Mhm.
like I was like, oh, that's different. That's cool. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I haven't seen that, and that was definitely a different way to like intro it to it.
Yeah.
So
But going back to OmniPlay, like I said, just having that outsider's perspective. Whenever we get into editing, sometimes you stare at something for so long. It's like you said, you can get, especially with 3D animation, because once you guys see this video, you'll see that like everything in it is built from scratch. So like every piece is put there intentionally, and when there's a bajillion pieces, it's
yeah,
like,
man.
when there's thousands of layers, you start to get lost in the sauce, and then you're like, okay, this looks really good. And then you got Joe Blow over here, me, saying like, yeah, this is sick, but can we can we like can we bring in the overlay a little bit faster so
Yeah.
the audio syncs up, like the timing of it or whatever. Like, can we, like originally we were gonna run with, and like Kit said, he recreated Eric as a robot, which originally we were going with the what's it called, hologram.
Yeah, right.
So we originally had a hologram effect, but I was like, we need something to make him more real, but also we wanted to bring more movement into the scene, because with him just standing off to the side as a hologram, it just seemed like, oh, he's turning towards him and getting the message, but like, wouldn't it be so cool if he moved with the camera?
Right.
And when you started going down that rabbit hole,
Yeah.
that's when like magic started happening, I feel like.
Dude, and it's like I'm glad that we went the way that we did, like full on. Like it was a lot more effort and time and like a learning curve for me for sure, because that's the first time I've ever like modeled somebody's face just from like a picture.
Yeah.
And the original one was okay, but it didn't feel like it fit the scene, because everything else was kind of like the animated kind of thing, and then we had that actual footage of him basically just cut out and like
Right.
a bunch of like effects
Yeah, good
thrown on
point.
for the hologram look. But
Mhm.
it's like I feel like him being modeled, him being in there, the same kind of style as everything else, it made it feel a lot more uniform in it too.
Oh, for sure. And we were like, we were really trying to sell this like futuristic, like
Right.
this is the future. And I kind of like wanted the messaging to feel like that too. Like when you really listen to the audio, like, I mean, Sterling literally says it at the
Right.
end, like OmniPlay is the future. But I wanted people to feel like futuristic vibe from it, but also like this is in the near future. Like
Right.
this is happening now. Like this is something that you can get for your credit union. And I think that it came across once we got towards the end. It's like, especially like when you started doing the sound design with all the audio and the scripting and everything. Man, it was just so fun to watch. Like every time getting a new version of it, like even the first version was just the visual and like a little bit of sound design, and then we went from that, like we were talking about with the with Eric, going from um, being animated to actually being animated,
Right.
and being a robot.
Yeah,
Like
actually.
that was a huge change. I'm trying to think of all the like pivotal moments, I feel like, but like the sound design alone, like I know you spent so much time on that too, and it shows. Like
Yeah.
everything in it shows. Like it shows when people watch it. It's 2 minutes long, which might seem forever, but it goes by so quickly because your eyes are just all over the place, which is what we as video makers want.
Right. And I feel like there was, and I feel like that's another thing that the Eric thing helped out with, like actually animating him, because it felt like in that time passing of them walking to the front desk,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like the pacing kind of slowed down at that point. It felt like everything
Yeah.
else was like boom, boom, boom. Then it slowed
Yeah.
down, but with that, it's like there were a bunch of hand movements. He's talking, you're looking at him, he's pointing, like
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. It felt like it kept the pacing up, and so it kind of like helped things move along well.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but I gotta say, the OmniPlay, like the actual like software, was
Yeah.
super intuitive to use, because like I ended up screen recording and like using the software
Yeah.
when making one of the animations for the screen.
Yeah.
And at one point it says like easy as 1, 2, 3, you know, in
Yeah.
it?
In the middle, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was that easy. Like you just upload your
Yeah.
footage, drag it to the timeline, and it really was intuitive and like super easy to use. So
Yeah.
it was really nice to see that.
Yeah, I will give my hats off to Bradshaw, which Eric gives him his flowers a lot now, which is fun to see, because Bradshaw's had such a long journey with OmniCommander. I mean, he's been here since practically day one. I think he's a 7-year employee, which says something because we've only been open for 7 years. So he's one of the first guys to be here, and he started out developing websites and kind of branched into being the team lead for the web developers, and then that stemmed off, and now he's doing the software development, which has been awesome. And now he's like really taking a hold of that, and he's been developing this for a while, just in the shadows, like we didn't
Right.
even know. And then now it's like, hey, we have this product, and digital display, coming from someone who does video, like we not only create videos for digital displays, but we also manage it. So like whenever a client purchases OmniPlay, we'll be the ones that updates their playlist and puts new graphics on, puts new videos on, all their stuff for them. So I've been through like four different platforms now,
Mm-hmm.
and like no shade to what other people are doing in the industry, but this is the like cleanest UI that I've gotten
For
to
sure.
mess with, and it's like you said, it's so simple. Like, and that was the purpose of the program. Like, it needs to be to where literally anyone could do it,
Right.
and it's really hard to mess up.
Right. Well,
So yeah.
and it's like, since we're up here in Nashville this week, it's like I got to like, talk with him and like look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, for how simple the design is and everything like that, like in a good way, of course, like easy to use.
Yeah.
It's like looking at all the code and everything that goes into it, it's just like insane. So it's like
Yeah.
all that time and effort to like get it to be so simple and user friendly and everything like that too is crazy to see. It's cool to see the behind the scenes and like the hours that go into it to what it comes out to.
Yeah. It's kind of like seeing the behind the scenes of what we do,
Right.
because like you might see a 30-second commercial on TV and be like, "Oh, that was great." Like, really love that. I'm totally sold on their auto loan or whatever.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes there's 1,000 layers
Right.
and 1,000 adjustment layers to make the footage match, and animations for the text on screen and all that stuff. And it's like, we are the only ones that see that.
Right.
But that brings me into a promo segment for something that we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be doing a behind the scenes look at our actual projects. So we're going to do a deep dive on the OmniPlay video and kind of showcase the layer side. So this is for our nerdy people out there. But we'll talk through and show off some screen recordings and stuff like that in the future of me and Kit going through his project file.
That's going to be intense.
Yeah, and showing what it took to get to where the video is. I think it'll be really cool and really insightful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it'll show people how much work it takes to get to those finished products like that.
For sure.
So be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing that soon. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Bradshaw is, I mean, he's crushed it. He really did. And it's really easy to promote stuff when you believe in it.
For sure.
Which we promote OmniCommander all the time because we work here and we believe in what we're doing.
Right.
But it's so cool to actually have like what will be physical and digital product to showcase.
Yeah.
So it's just cool and it's so fun. And whenever we get to create stuff like the OmniPlay commercial and the full video, it's like it makes it that much better because you're like, we're gonna sell this product. Like,
right.
We're gonna make this product sell, and we're gonna give our teams the collateral to be successful to make this product what it should be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited about it. Very excited about the commercial. But just to go back to the commercial, where'd you get your inspiration for the actual branch?
The actual branch, like you mentioned before, the actual like branch that we use in the animation was like created like a year ago, I think now or something.
I think maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it's like it was created before, but it was for a different purpose. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of sat there, and it's like, who would have known that like making it back then would, come out to be what it is now.
Yeah.
But I think like, are you talking about like the inspiration for like how it looked and felt and all
mm-hmm.
that? I think it's like since we kind of have that space theme going and everything already, it's like I really like sci-fi movies like Blade Runner 2049 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And video games, Cyberpunk and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I take ideas from those movies or games or whatever, and even if it's like a small piece, and kind of just like try to incorporate it.
Yeah.
But it was basically just like taking that stuff, having fun with it, getting the feel of like the futuristic, but still having like modern touches to it. I guess I would say modern.
Yeah.
It's like, with the car keys clicking the rocket, it's like,
mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think that you would still have the keys doing like pew pew in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like going to be whatever that tech is now. But
sure,
it's like finding the even balance between that mix of future and modern to make it be like, oh, well, this is definitely the future, but it has like people can still relate because it's modern stuff.
Some form of realism.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was a big part of the storytelling aspect that I was thinking about too, like going into it, especially with the scripting. Like I wanted it to feel like a true member experience.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to go into a branch, granted, and we know this can be kind of crazy, but like the CEO is probably never going to be just standing in the branch to promote a new product.
Yeah.
But if Eric was the CEO of a branch, he would be in there promoting his new product. I could see him doing it.
I could too, yeah.
So I wanted it to feel like a genuine member experience, but like futuristic and really just kind of encapsulate what we think a member would feel like if they came in and genuinely saw like these promotions on the TVs.
Right.
And it's like they wouldn't have saw that otherwise.
Right.
Like you can promote it on your website, you can promote it on your mobile app, you can promote it on through email, all these things, and it's like, what's better than walking in, which granted not a lot of people do this anymore, but even me, I'm 30 years old, and I still like to go into my credit union's branch and like go in, talk to the people whenever I'm doing, especially larger financial transactions. I like the person to person meetings. So like, how else or what better way to see something that you're promoting than to put it on the TVs, especially right in your eyesight, line of sight. Line of sight, behind the teller lines. Like, it just makes perfect sense.
Right. Well, and it's like this is kind of like getting into the more like future tech or whatever, and it's
Sure.
like it would be like an experience of like if you've seen that movie Ready Player One. You know, it's like how everybody is like virtually logged in, but it's like it feels like
Yeah.
they're there in person. So it's like if it was the future and them walking in virtually, but it's like still physically in a way, like that's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
But it's like what they would get in that experience as well, I guess, too. So
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we'll put on our VR goggles and walk into a real virtual branch, which I hope OmniCommander is the people to build those out, because that would
that'd
be
pretty cool.
pretty cool.
That's next up. Next up.
Yeah. But then Branch Commander could really come to life.
Yeah.
But who knows? Like, maybe that will happen someday, you know? Because all this tech is becoming more and more affordable. And, like, recently, Facebook or Meta partnered with Ray-Ban to make those smart glasses.
Yeah.
And they're more affordable. So it's like, and Apple Vision Pros, they're trying to promote them wearing, like, people wearing them more often.
Yeah.
And they're dropping the price coming up next year on the new models. So it's like, all of this stuff is going to be more and more accessible, and people are already so attached to their phones. God forbid you make it even more accessible and wearable.
Right.
And comfortably wearable, to be fair.
Yeah.
So like the Meta Tech glasses, just putting those as an example, they look like regular glasses or sunglasses, and you can literally look at a building and say, like, hey, what is this? And then it'll literally give you a historic breakdown of what it is.
Right.
So with that being said, like, all this stuff moving towards the future, I could 100% see myself or my kids probably one day, like, having that kind of virtual experience. Like, it's coming. The tech is coming.
Well, and I think I saw an ad recently for like it was basically attending sports events but virtually.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it's like you wear the headset.
I've done that.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Oh my! Tell me about it. Tell me
Okay.
about it.
So I got to test out the Apple Vision Pros when they first came out.
Yeah.
So we were in DC for GAC, which a lot of our partners know what that is. It's one of the biggest governmental affairs conference, biggest credit union conference of the year, always in DC. But they have an Apple store there, which, one, the most beautiful Apple store I've stepped
Really?
foot in so far. It's like in an old museum hall
What?
or something. Like, the whole thing is marble and it's gorgeous. Yeah, crazy, I know. But we had some free time. Apple Vision Pros just came out. I was like, I have to try these things on.
Yeah.
And so I asked the guy for a demo, and he, of course, gave me a spiel. What are you going to be using these for? Da da da. And I was like, well, I mean, honestly, I would use them for work, because you can have virtual displays
Right.
inside the Apple Vision Pros. And I was like, well, if these can match the quality of a great colorless monitor, why wouldn't I use that?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't I attach that to my Mac and use it as a screen?
Yeah.
Like, I would put those on and work, like, if they're comfortable, you know? So I put them on, and I'm going through the demo, and he starts showing me videos. And these are all videos taken on the, I think it was the 15
Okay.
at the time, because the 16s just came out. And there's like a 360 video thing on the 15s.
Yeah.
And you can record. They had someone record a birthday party, and I could literally walk around the room as they were singing happy birthday to the little girl.
What the heck?
And as I walked around the room, the audio changed based on where I was standing.
That's pretty trippy.
Yeah. So, to circle back, they eventually showed me the sports thing.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 or 3 different experiences. So I got to sit behind the goal at a Miami game.
Yeah.
Watching Messi play.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Which it wasn't live. It was recorded, but still very cool because they obviously used him shooting as an example and everyone freaking out. But even cooler, they showed a part after that of him shooting, and the ball like goes right past the camera.
Oh.
And it's like you can almost feel it.
Does it feel like you're there? Like, okay.
Yeah, you are like 100% immersed.
Yeah.
I truly mean that. Like, you can't see anything around you. Everything around you is in this world that you're in. So another thing that you can do with it is in the NBA thing, eventually they're going to have courtside seats.
Yeah.
Where you can pay for this access and put your Apple Vision Pros on, and you go sit courtside at the basketball game.
I think that's what I saw the ad for, yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's the audio that does it, because you feel like you're watching that freaking game on the side of the court.
That's crazy.
And the cool thing is, you can be sitting there, and like, I think eventually they're going to make it to where you can watch it with friends.
Yeah.
So you can like look over and like your friend's avatar will be there or whatever. Yeah. But when you stand up and stuff, the camera moves.
So it's like you get different perspective.
Yeah. So you're not necessarily going to stand up and like walk on the court.
Yeah.
Because I think there's probably limitations there. I have the MetaQuest, and typically you set a boundary zone for where you are, and you can't really escape that.
Yeah.
But that was just watching videos on it was like blowing me away.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Like listening to the ocean and stuff, which I live in Florida. Kit has since moved to Tennessee. Wah. But everything, I was going to buy them.
Yeah.
It was like $3,200. And I was like,
but you were convinced.
I'm sold.
Yeah. See,
but the tech is still catching up, I think.
Okay.
Because, and the guy even said it too. He was like, give it like a year or two, because they just signed a deal to have more of these cameras, because it has to be like a 12K camera to have the quality for the Apple Vision Pro. And he was like, we're trying to get more cameras in these stadiums, that way we can do it more.
That makes sense.
So, but man, it's really cool.
Dude,
it's really cool.
See, it's like I've only really had like 2 VR headset experiences. Mm-hmm. One was at my cousin's house, and I got to say, like, I definitely felt like I was there. And then more recently, I think it was last Christmas, I was trying out my fiance's nephew's headset, and it was like the Gorilla Tag game or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I was in that, it's like I definitely felt fully immersed. Like, I was running as like the gorilla or monkey or whatever. And it's like it was so weird, because it would be my character visually, everything else would tell me I'm falling to the ground, but my body's like, whoa, what's happening? And so I don't usually get motion sick playing video games, but that one was like after an hour, and I was like, all right, I gotta take a break.
Yeah. They have they actually, some recommend taking motion sickness like a pill.
Oh, really?
To medicine before you play.
Yeah. Because
then you can play for a long period of time.
Okay.
But there was one time I went to a birthday party. I'm sorry, we're going on a tangent here. But one time I went to a birthday party, and my friend had it, and we started out and we were playing golf and all this stuff, and it was like super fun, because it's actually pretty realistic. Like if you turn your hand with the club, like it'll open and close the face.
Yeah.
Now I'm really getting to the weeds. But we ended up playing a game where, and it's like crazy, but it's a game where you walk the plank.
Okay.
But you walk the plank on the side of a skyscraper.
Okay.
And so if you're afraid of heights, like it will like actually scare you.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in it is like having fun and like just messing around, and finally you like the start of it is you have to walk in an elevator and then take the elevator ride up. So, and it takes like 20 seconds. So you're like, you're sold on this story, right? And one of the girls that was there does have a fear of heights. So she literally got on her hands and knees and walked the plank that way because that's how scared she was.
That's just kind of like crazy within itself. It's like your brain knows like, hey, I'm really inside this room, like it's okay, but it's like it fully believes your eyes. It's like no, you're 20 floors up, you're gonna fall to your death. That's like the psychology behind that.
It's pretty crazy.
But
OMNIPLAY.
Back to that. Anyways, coming back.
The commercial's great. Can't wait for everyone to see it. And the software is even better.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm kind of biased.
It's pretty good. I'm kind
of biased.
Yeah. I mean, I made it, so I can't make any comment on it, but like the software is really good.
No, the software is great. The video is great. Can't wait for you guys to see it. But I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
Happy to spend this time in Nashville with you and enjoy doing just normal stuff. Our normal stuff.
It's always a good time.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Later.